Let us understand how Quicksort works in the most simple way. So remember, first element is your pivot element, next element is I, and last element is your J. Okay? Now remember three rules. If I is greater than J, then you have to swap I and J. If I is less than pivot element, then you have to increment I. If J is greater than pivot element, you have to decrement J. Remember these three. Now, let us start with the problem. So now, is I less than pivot element? No. Is J greater than pivot element? 45 greater than 65? No. Is I greater than J? 70 greater than 45? Yes. What do? We swap I and J. Simple. So let us swap I and J now. So I swapped I and J. This is my pivot element. Now let us move on with the same procedure. Is I less than pivot element? Yes, I is less than pivot element. So what do? We increment it. So let us increment the value. Is J greater than pivot element? Let us check. 70 greater than 65? Yes. What do? Decrement. So let us decrement it. This becomes my J. Okay. Now same procedure. Is I less than pivot element? I less than P? No. Is J greater than P? No. Is I greater than J? I greater than J. 75 greater than 50? Yes. So swap I and J. Let us swap I and J. What do I get? So this is my I and J now. Let us check once more. Is I, this is my pivot element. Is I less than pivot element? 50 less than 65? Yes. Is J greater than pivot element? Yes. So what do? We increment this, we decrement this. So let us increment. This comes over here. I is over here and my J comes over here. Same. Is I greater than, less than P? No. Is J greater than P? No. What do? Is I greater than J? Yes. Swap. So let us swap. So this is my J. Now again see, this is my pivot element. Is I less than pivot element? 55 less than 65? Yes. So increment I. So let us increment I. Is J greater than P? What do? Decrement. Yes it is. So decrement. This becomes my J. Now see, I got this list now. 85, 60. Okay. Now we see that I is greater than P, J is less than P, and I is greater than J now. Yes, I is greater than J. So what do? Swap I and J. So we swap I and J. Here comes I and here comes J. Okay. Now let us again check. Is I less than P? I less than P? Yes. So I plus plus. So here I plus plus. Is J greater than P? Yes. So J minus minus. Okay. Till here understood? Now let us move further. Now we see that this becomes I and this becomes my J now. So now see, is I greater than J now? Let's see. Is I greater than J? Yes it is. So we swap pivot and J now. Okay. So now let us swap pivot. This is my pivot and this is my J. So let us swap this. So what do we get? 60 So here I got 65 and here I got one list and here I got another list. One thing you have to remember, in Quicksort, all the elements that are less than this element come over this side and all elements that are greater come over this side. Greater than pivot here, less than pivot here, and pivot will be in the middle. Okay, so now we have to arrange these elements also like how we did in this full cases. Okay, let us do this. So let me start with this one and then let's continue with this. So first, so this becomes my pivot element now, first element. Next element is my I and last element will be my J. Okay, now is I less than pivot? Yes, so increment I. So let us increment I first. Is J greater than pivot? J greater than pivot? No, leave it as it is then. Again, I is 50. I less than pivot? Yes, so increment I. So I increment I, it came over here. Is J greater than pivot? No, leave it as it is. Now whenever we encounter something like this, what you have to do? Whenever I is equal to J, you have to swap pivot and J. So what is my J? 55. Pivot is my 60. So swap it. So after swapping I get 55. Okay, these two are sorted now. Now this is not sorted. So here comes my pivot element. This is my I and this is my J. Now what do I do? Same procedure. So check first. Is I less than P? Yes, so I plus plus. So it goes over here. This becomes my I now as well as J. So is J greater than P? No, leave it as it is. Now whenever I counter something like this, what do I do? Whenever I equal to J, swap pivot with J. So let us swap pivot with J. So I get what? 50, 45, 55, 60 and 65. So see, we see that 55, 60 and 65 are sorted. So these two elements remain. So we do everything on this one. So this is my pivot element. This is my I as well as J. So simple. Whenever we encounter something like this, whenever I equal to J, swap pivot and J. Pivot is my 50 and J is my 45. Swap it. So what do I get? 45. Now can you see? It's sorted. Now in the same way, let us do this one. Same procedure will be applying. So first element is my pivot element now. This will become my pivot element. This is my I and this is my J. Alright. Now let us check. Is I less than P? Yes. So we increment it, right? So let us increment it. So this becomes my I now. Is J greater than P? No, J is not greater than. So leave it as it is. Now let's check this I. 75. Is I less than P? 75 less than 85? Yes. So I plus plus we do. So let us increment this I. It came over here. I and J. Now is J greater than P? No, leave it as it is. I got I and J like this. Now what do I do? Whenever I get something like this, whenever I equal to J, you have to swap pivot and J. Okay. So let us swap this pivot, that is 85 and 70. Okay. So what do I get? Here I get 75. I got like this. Okay. I hope it is visible. Now this is sorted. Till here it is sorted. Now this is not sorted. So this becomes my pivot element and this becomes I and this becomes my J. Same procedure. Is I less than pivot element? Yes, it is. So increment it. Let us increment. So this I becomes, here I comes. Is J greater than P? Yes. So I will decrement it. Right? So J comes over here. Right? This becomes my J. Now see, whenever I have J and I like this, what do we do? Swap pivot with J. Pivot with J. So let us swap this. Pivot is 80 and J is 75. So let us swap 75, 80, 85. So see, is it a swap now? So therefore my whole list becomes, so this is my complete list. This is how Quicksort works. Very simple algorithm. First element is pivot, next element becomes I, last element becomes j. Then you have to check if I is less than pivot element. You have to increment I. If j is greater than pivot element, you have to decrement j. And if I is less than j, then you have to what? If I is greater than j, right? Then what you have to do? Same procedure. Okay? This is how you sort using Quicksort. Thank you.